Hi folks, welcome to the shed. This week, between the storm and various other events beyond my control, my shooting schedule has kind of been blown out of the water. I have been unable to film where I would normally, and here we are in my shed. However, I've lit it. I think it looks alright. Hopefully you don't hate it. It's a bit more industrial than I used to, but it isn't going to stop me from getting a video out to you. So, this week I'm looking at this, the Webley and Scott XSP 912, a gun I originally looked at the British Shooting Show back in February in its prototype form. And if you remember, it had mirror finish side plates on, which, not going to lie, wasn't a fan of. Didn't think it was a great idea, but it turns out neither did anybody else. And it's turned out in this not unattractive, for a given value of attractive, obviously, I do know people that hate this, but I do not hate it. I just think as a piece of kind of visual kind of window dressing to stick on a gun, I think a little bit of this side plate with this colour case on it actually looks nicer than a, frankly, half-arsed attempt at engraving. I think this actually looks better, especially against this black chrome finish that they've used on the Action. I think it looks all right. Let's cover oily bits, and then we'll have a whiz out and shoot it. So, it comes with 5 extended chokes. The barrels are, as you can see, floating. So we've got no mid-rib, a ventilated top rib, 18.5 board, 76mm chamber. We've got a beaver tail forend, but it's not a beast of a beaver tail, a little bit of a finger choil, laser cut checkering with a Webley and Scott logo inset. It is superior steel proofed, which is both here on the sides and a little call out fleur-de-lis just behind the serial number on the back, which is quite nice. Just a little bit of reassurance that you have superior steel proofing. The rib is an 11mm non-tapered semi-raised rib. So this gun is sort of pitching itself, in my opinion, against the CG Summit Ascent, which is interesting because if you remember, CG sort of burst into the market a few years back, aggressively priced, aggressively marketed, picked up a following, and then they've started to sort of gradually inch the prices up to match the guns now standing in the marketplace. I wonder whether these guys are going to do a similar thing. This gun is $11.99 RRP. You'll be able to get one $1,100 or less, I would have thought, in a shop. But genuinely, fit and finish externally, metal to metal finish is fine. No problems there. Wood to metal finish is really good. No untoward gaps in the forend and the way it matches the barrels, and then into the Action and the forend iron, it works pretty well. Trigger pulls, a little bit of slop, not going to lie, the trigger pulls are okay, but perfectly acceptable. Ejectors time nicely enough. The issue, perhaps if there is one, is the internal finish on the monoblock. There are definitely some like kind of machining marks that are still visible that could do slightly better. However, do you know what? At this price point, it's fine. Internally, lock up, very reminiscent of sort of Fab Arm and the bottom end of the Caesar Guerini Spectrum. We have a bite that comes out from the bottom of the Action face and to like kind of into the bottom of the monoblock here, which is fine. As you can hear, it doesn't sound crap when you open and close it. It actually sounds pretty good. The Action, as I said, finished in this black chrome with the logo, manufacturer, and again the logo on the bottom. The side plates with this, as I said, I don't hate it. I think I would rather see something like this if you were going to sort of jazz up a gun visually than rubbish engraving. I think it looks all right. The matte black finished Trigger guard kind of stands out. I kind of wish it was in the same finish as the Action, but I mean that's really minor. As I said, a little bit of slop in the triggers. Select safety works fine. Top lever as you would expect. Decent palm swell coming back. The Sporter stock is actually quite well proportioned. We've got a kind of a little bit of a kind of figure here in the way that it's cut, a line across the bottom just to sort of draw the eye visually, and then we have an adjustable comb, sort of standard adjustable comb with the 2 screws. You can lift it up and set it as you will. 14.5-inch length of pull, and this gun with the weights in, for it does also come with a weighting system. I've got it 8 pound 7 ounces, 8.5 dead, and from a fit and finish perspective, it's fine. The recoil pad, to be honest, it's a bit tacky. Obviously over time that will settle down, but I would maybe think about sticking a different recoil pad on. The wood is, as you can see, pretty tasty. For what's going to be an 1100 quid gun, it looks all right. As I said, fit and finish is fine. Let's go shoot it. Right, so in terms of shooting prep, about as much as I've done is chuck half the 3/4 in, assemble it, and then I took it out to shoot it. Out of the box, it is quite nose heavy, like fairly nose heavy, but unlike most other manufacturers, Webley have actually shipped this gun with weights, and they've left them in the press gun, which is fairly unusual. It might be because I'm the first guy to get it, and I don't know if there's a lot of press guns that get lost or taken out because they get stolen or whatever, but this gun did come with the weights, and I have spent a little bit of time, like 5 minutes, popping some weights in. I might have gone a touch too far the other way. It's a bit tail heavy now. Yeah, it's just behind the pin, but I think this will be more pleasant to shoot. Without the weights, it was obviously a little bit willful in terms of the barrels, and I found it quite noticeable in terms of recoil impulse. It was very noticeable. Totally different in the shoulder. Much more pleasant to shoot with the extra weight. That fallen loop has got some pace on it. Just missed the first 2. Let's see what it can do. However, shoots. Do you know what? It shoots really well. Try just here, but there it is. And then B. Lovely. I tell you what, it shoots alright. The palm swell feels nice, radius of the pistol grip's good, fit in the shoulder's pretty good, it's not too high, out of the box. I do need to fiddle with the weight a little bit more. I think I'd take a little bit of weight out. I've gone a bit too far, but I've shot worse. Definitely shot worse. Let's have another pair. Like a sin. In front of that. One more. Better. Don't mind this at all. Do not mind shooting this at all. I normally use skeet for testing. B-roll because there's no cage. And I think it makes for a better shot. Let's try hybrid. Webley. So that's dealt with. Let's try the power. On. I will say I've definitely shot worse. Fura. So, as you can see, I shot pretty well. I was genuinely impressed. Took it out both with and without the weights, and definitely putting the weights in helped. 100% improved the manners. It comes up well. As I said, as a competitor for a CG Invictus, if you want a CG Invictus but you can't afford CG Invictus money, this thing's all right. How will it do over time? I don't know. I just can't tell you at this stage how good the quality of the materials are and how they're going to weather the test of time. But I can tell you that it shoots really well for the money. As I've made this argument before, I think the guns coming out of Turkey are going to do what cars coming out of Korea have done. Aggressively sort of cheap, lots of features, unlike a lot of manufacturers sending a gun out without the weighting system when it needs the weights to balance. Include them. They cost next to knack all. It's just some milled steel and a screw, or a bolt. It just feels like these guys are hungry and they're going to do well. And this is not an awful gun by any stretch of the imagination. I have shot much worse, also from Italian manufacturers. So, do you know what? I don't hate this. What do you think? I'd be really interested to see how these do over the coming months and what you guys think of them. What do you think of this colour case? Oh, there's the thing. On one side, the side plate, there's no screw head. I don't know if that's intentional, but it does feel like the machine screw goes through from to the side. As you can see, you've got two screw heads, and on this side, nothing. Screw head at the front. I think that would look nicer if it was the same both sides, but that's a super minor point, to be brutally honest. What do you think? Will you give one a try? Will you give it a chance? We shall see how the market treats them. As usual, folks, if you enjoy the channel, please do consider subscribing, joining up. We have access to a chat channel, as well as giving you early access to other content and exclusive access to content that isn't available to non-members. I've got the old school hat on today, but of course merch is available from the merch store on Curio. And oh yeah, if you want discount on some ears, go to Sens and enter the code Lloyd at checkout for discount off a set of DXs. Chaps, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.